After she sent me a transcript, she was like, I don't really know what caused the refusal, but I want to reapply and I need your advice, please. Do I need to change something about my profile, and can you please help me out with the reason for refusal? I did a mock session with the students and I'll talk about that as well. So she reached out to me after her visa was denied. She said, Hi, Mr. Shai, good day. Hope you are doing well. Please, I need your advice. So my visa was denied and I don't know exactly why. Below is my visa interview transcript. So this is how her F-1 visa interview went. She exchanged greetings with the visa officer and passed her document to the visa officer. The visa officer said, Tell me about your program. So she said, It's a 2-year program and I'll be offering 34 credit hours. And some of the courses that I'll be taking include. So she was mentioning several courses and then the visa officer interrupted her. Now you can mention 1 or 2 courses, but you have to focus more on what the program is about and how it will help you. Such questions are meant to understand how the program fits into the applicant's academic and professional journey. Maybe she could have mentioned the name of the program as well. Of course, it's on the I-20, but given the question she was asked, I think it helps to mention the name of the program. A good answer will look like this. I'll be pursuing a 2-year MBA program at A University. This program focuses on ABC, which aligns perfectly with my background and current job as XXX and my future goal as YYY. Through this program, I will gain expertise in XYZ that will help me contribute to ABC in Ghana. So the visa officer said, Tell me about the family funds on your I-20. The student replied, So the family funds on my I-20 is actually funds of my husband and he'll be taking care of my education. He is in the person of Mr. XYZ and he is a businessman into the wholesale and retail of electrical appliances, and he also exports cashew to UK and Europe. His annual income ranges from 400,000 to 450,000 Ghana cedis. In a good year, he makes around 450,000, and in a normal year, he makes 400,000. And if your husband exports cashew to the UK and Europe, I expect you to have traveled to, the UK and Europe as well. If that is not the case, then that is already a red flag. That's just what I think. This good year and normal year thing doesn't sound too good to me. She just had to mention the average yearly amount. Normally, if a student is telling the truth, they will mention the name of the company or companies and maybe how long the husband has been in business. She could have added that she had solid financial documentation such as tax returns, business registration, and bank statements. If she was telling the truth, then she would have these things. But if she wasn't telling the truth, then she wasn't going to have these things. In the mock session, which is at the end of this video, I remember she said she had personal savings and she had traveled abroad with her husband on a business trip. I don't remember the country, but I don't think that was the UK and I don't think it was Europe. That sounded like a vacation actually, but maybe a good story could have come out of that. A good answer would actually look like this. My studies are being fully funded by my husband, who is the owner and CEO of ABC Company. Our company is about wholesale and retail of electrical appliances and has been in operation since 2010. He also exports cashew to the UK and Europe. His annual income is stable at around XXX dollars. I have financial documentation such as tax returns, business registration, and bank statements. The hour that you see in the answer is actually a big deal. It could have actually made her sound truthful. The more specific you are, the more likely you are telling the truth, and the more likely your visa will be approved. A Nigerian student once told me during a mock session that mentioning the amount of the deficit in Naira is more helpful than mentioning it in dollars. According to the student, when you quote the amount in Naira, it makes the amount sound larger than it actually is. I don't think so. Your cost of attendance is in dollars, so why not do the conversion for the visa officer? Why should the visa officer do the conversion for you? I don't really think that makes any difference. So for me, I think you have to quote the amount in dollars because you're coming to study in the US and the currency is dollars, right? So that's what I think. So the visa officer said, I'm sorry, your visa can't be approved today. And he handed her a 214B refusal paper. I think the visa officer wasn't convinced by her sponsor and what he does. She's going to study MBA, so ideally she should have linked everything to her husband's business. This is something I told her in the mock session. After she sent me a transcript, she was like, I don't really know what caused the refusal, but I want to reapply and I need your advice, please. Do I need to change something about my profile? And can you please help me out with the reason for refusal? My reply was that she was probably denied because the visa officer wasn't convinced by her sponsor and what he does. She then asked me if changing her sponsor would help. Well, I mean, if your husband was sponsoring you, why do you need to change him as your sponsor? She also asked me if it would be okay to use a different school and try again because her current school doesn't have good scholarships. Why will you even apply to such a school if you know they don't have good scholarships? Like, why will you waste your time like that? Now, if she gets good funding, then she would have a good chance in her next visa interview. That's what I told her. The rest of this video is her mock session with me. So you are going to study MBA, right?
Yes, please.
Uh, why do you want to study an MBA?
Okay, so it has always been my dream to be a senior professor one day in Ghana. I am currently a teacher with the Ghana Education Service and I've been teaching for the past 8 years now. And I believe that it is time for me to move up the ladder. Hence, the reason why I want to take this program, which will equip me with the knowledge and skills which I'll be needing to become a supply chain professor at at the University of Education.
What is your current job?
I am currently a teacher with the Ghana Education Service and I've been teaching for the past 8 years now.
No,
Some of
like
my
what
duties.
like I mean, what level of education
So
are
I
you
teach the
involved with?
basic level, please.
What do you mean by basic level? Primary or what?
Primary, yes, please.
You teach at the primary level.
Yes.
And what is your level of education?
So I have a Bachelor of Science in Procurement and Supply Chain Management from the University College of Management Studies, which I completed in 2018 with a CGPA of 3.44. I also hold a Bachelor of Education from the University of Cape Coast, which I completed in 2022 with a CGPA of 3.2.
Okay. And how many schools do you apply to?
I applied to three different universities: University of New Haven, University of Dayton, University of Michigan, and I got accepted into all. But I chose University of New Haven because of their career focused education and also because of their accomplished professors. I also chose the university because of their unique course models.
Okay. Can you say that again? I was doing something. Can you say that again?
I applied to three different universities: University of New Haven, University of Dayton, University of Michigan, and I got accepted into all three universities. But I decided to go with University of New Haven because of their career focused education and also because of their accomplished professors.
What do you mean by career focused education?
So their course models places much emphasis on hands-on experience, which will expose me, which will expose me after completing my program.
Is it expose me or expose you?
So expose me.
All right. So why the US?
So I chose to study in the US. I considered different countries, but I chose US because of their standing history of academic excellence and also for the fact that the universities in the US provide opportunity for learners to get a chance to practice hands-on experience. I also chose the US because according to research, US has one of the leading programs when it comes to global supply chain management. And it is one of the top countries with regards to logistics and commerce. In fact, US has produced most of the best business professionals, and I am excited about this and want to be part of it. That is why US stood out for me.
Hmm. Have you traveled outside your home country?
Yes, please. I traveled to India in August 2019 for a business trip.
Sponsored by who?
I was just sponsored by myself and my husband.
So what do you mean by business trip? What did you, because you are somebody in education field. So what do you mean by how? What has
So
business?
my husband is a businessman, and so I went on a trip with my husband to seek to get products for his company and also um, to get partners for his business.
Okay. And do you know anyone in the US?
I do not know anyone in the US. All my family members are based in Ghana here.
So um, let me ask you this. I know you've said it somewhere. Let me ask you. What are your plans after your studies?
Upon completing my program, I intend to return back to Ghana and work with the University College of Management Studies as a supply chain professor.
Okay. Um,
Hello, hello.
I can hear you. So tell me about your
Yeah, I
program.
think my next,
Tell me about your
I
program.
didn't finish. I didn't finish with the other question.
Okay, you can finish it now.
Okay. Okay, so upon completing my program, I intend to return back to Ghana and work with the University College of Management Studies as a junior professor in the business department, specifically the supply chain department. I am very passionate about returning back to Ghana because I believe my impact must be felt in my country. I also intend to use the knowledge and skills acquired to empower women in the field of business, where I'll be helping them understand what really goes into business and helping them stand on their own.
Okay, and who is sponsoring your studies?
I've been awarded a Dean Scholarship which will cover part of my tuition fee. My remaining deficit will be taken care of by my husband in the person of Mr. Swansea Innocent. He is a successful businessman and he is into the wholesale and retail of general goods. He also exports cashew to UK and Europe. His annual income ranges from 400 to 450,000 Ghana cedis. In a good year, he makes around 450,000 Ghana cedis, and in a normal year, he makes around 400,000 Ghana cedis. Also, having worked for 8 years, I also have my own savings that I'll be using to support my education in order to complete my program without any financial stress.
Mm, I see. And can you tell me about your program?
My program is a 2 year program and it is STEM designated. I'll be offering 34 credit hours and I'm expected to take a minimum of 15 credit hours per semester. Some of the courses I will be taking include managing quality in the supply chain, managing in global markets, international marketing, business forecasting, management process, business intelligence, and others. The program will be assessed through written exams, project works, group works,
All
and
right.
individual.
Let me give you what I think. Okay.
Okay.
Um. I think you are able to express yourself well. In my opinion, I think you are able to. But one of the issues that I also want to ask you why the US. I think I like the answer. The answers you give. The answer you give. I think yeah, it kind of it works. But
Okay.
there are a few issues here. When I ask you, why do you want to study the program?
Mm.
You brought in your ties, which is always good. Okay, but the
Okay.
issue with that is when you say you want to return to become a procurement professor. So
Yeah.
when you said that, you know the question. You remember the question I asked you next? It was, "What
Yes, you
is your
asked
current
which
job?"
level. Yes.
Now, if you are currently teaching at the primary level, what makes you think? Because you have a bachelor's degree, so if a bachelor's degree and you are teaching at a primary level, then what makes
Yeah.
you think an MBA is going to elevate you to the level of a professor? I'm not too sure what. I don't know how business stuff work, but I'm not
Yeah. I
convinced
don't
by
know if
that.
you remember some time ago, I even asked you about it if it was possible. But I recently spoke to one of my former lecturer who lectures at the University of Education. And
Mm,
he was telling me that with my case, since I have a background of education, I am likely to get the position of a junior lecturer. So with that, maybe I'll have to lecture for some time, then later take my PhD.
okay. So why
So
is it
that
that
was
with
what
that
he
same
told.
background you are not even teaching a business program at the high school level?
Yeah.
Because normally, if you have an education degree, you should be at least be teaching at the high school level. So that's my
Yeah.
issue with that. I'm not too
So
convinced.
the thing is, the way the education system is, the thing is, I had my diploma in education. Then I wanted to divert. That was when I went to do the procurement and supply chain management. But later I realized that I couldn't use that to upgrade myself. So if I wanted to use the procurement, then I needed to go work at the education office in the office. But then I went to do the top up degree in education, and I don't know. Yeah,
So
so
so so so this is what I'm thinking.
okay.
If if your husband is a businessman and he's into supply importation and into uh what did you even say? Said
I said he's a businessman. He's into the wholesale and retail of general goods, and he also exports cashew
yeah, stuff
to
like that.
UK and Europe. Mm.
So why are you not going to get your why are you not working with him at the moment in his business if business is something you are interested in? And also why are you not coming back to your home country to up his business since you are a business person and you want to be a lecturer? Meanwhile, you are at the junior high school level. So the visa officer is processing all of this at the same time, right? And
Yeah,
also
yeah.
let me emphasize that when I interview people here, there are so many things
Mm.
that they will say. There are certain things that it's actually not correct, but because I am focusing on other things, I forget to tell them that, oh, this is also not correct and all of that. So if I don't mention something, it doesn't mean there are certain things. If I don't mention it, it doesn't mean that they are correct or they are wrong. Okay, just for you to
Okay.
know. But yeah, this
Yeah.
is my point. If your husband is a business person, what and you want to study MBA, why are you not
Mm.
already working in his company or something? That doesn't really sound convincing to me. And
Mm.
uh, and when I asked you about the business trip that you embarked on with your husband, yeah, you couldn't really go straight for it today because it was more like you trying to think about what to say and all of that. That didn't
Yes,
really.
yes. It's like I wasn't really
Yeah,
prepared
you were
for
not
that.
certain about that. That is not. As soon as you show anything like that, it means you are lying and you're not going to be approved. So you have to be clear with that and you know mean what you say and say it clearly.
Yeah,
Okay. Um,
yeah.
when I asked you how many schools did you apply to? Is it your child who is crying?
My sister's child.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I just wanted to make sure it's from your side because it's from other people. If it
Yeah.
was from other people's side, I'll just mute them. Okay.
Oh, it was from him.
Then when I asked you how many schools did you apply to, you said three schools, and you said you chose one of them because of the focused education and accomplished professors. For
Yes,
me, those
please.
things they are too general for me. They don't sound convincing to me. I feel like there is always something you can get from the school's website which will make the program which will make the program stand out to you. So if you are mentioning career focused education, every program is career focused. Most of every school has professors who have achieved something. So for me, that doesn't really sound that good to me. And also we go back to when I asked you the specific question about your plans after your studies. You mentioned you are coming to become a professor. At the same time, for me, I feel like that is not convincing to me. You coming becoming a professor when your husband, you said, he's a businessman and all of that. And also,
So,
you mentioned that your husband is into general goods. I am not too sure
yeah.
what general goods are, the kind of general goods he sells. So you have to mention the kind of some of the most expensive things that he imports or he sells on
Okay.
wholesale. You mention the most expensive ones so that the visa officer has a clear understanding of his, the kind of things he transacting. Okay,
Okay.
so yeah, I mean, I feel like you have to be clear with all of these things and. That's all I have for you. I wish you the best. Okay. Do you have any question?